Good afternoon, everybody. Time for Strat-O-Matic baseball. Oh yeah, we've got the final game of June the 18th today. That's going to be the Cleveland Indians at the Washington Senators. As I try to focus my afflicted eyes in here. Maybe the angle needs to be better. Hello there, Franklin, and hi to Blaine. Good afternoon, one and all. Yeah, as I said, Cleveland at Washington. Let's take a look at the standings here, then I'll put the camera back in its holder. Here we have the American League. Indians are 32-25. They're in third place, 7.5 back. For the Senators, they've been going downhill, 26-37. They've lost 8 of their last 10, including the first game of this series. You know, I just adjusted this. There we go. That's pretty good. And welcoming in Mike, Ernest, and Mangler. Hello, hello. I'm doing great, Mike. Thank you. Hi, Ben. Other than trying to reorient my eyes here, I'm fine. But what else is new, right? Hey, Kenyon Gray is here. How you doing, Kenyon? Been a while. Hope all is well. I'm trying to hang on. I got to adjust the light. Is that better light for me? It might be today. A little more soft light, softer light. Okay. Anyway, particulars on the mound. It is Sonny Siebert for Cleveland, Phil Ortega for Washington. We'll take a look at the statistics for these pitchers. Siebert having a good year for Cleveland. He's 7-3, 3.86. He's made 12 starts and completed 6 of them. And he's thrown 89 innings, 63 strikeouts. Ortega, also a right-hander, 2-6, 4.08. 13 starts, 1 complete game. That was a shutout. 90 innings, 89 hits, 54 strikeouts. Franklin's getting his eye exam tomorrow. I'll have to wait till February. What the heck's wrong with this? All right, hang on a second. My apologies. Well, I think that's the neighbor's dryer upstairs. I couldn't figure out where that humming was coming from. It seems awfully loud today to me. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Hopefully my crowd noise drowns that kind of stuff out. That's the hope anyway. So 2 righties on the mound. Kind of another blah day in Spokane, but I mean, it is November 18th. Here's the lineup for the Cleveland Indians today. Vic Davalillo in center field leads it off. Leon Wagner in left field. Chico Simone is at shortstop. Rocky Colavito in right field will bat cleanup. Fred Whitfield's at first base. Max Alvis is the third baseman. Del Crandall will do the catching today and hit 7th. Pedro Gonzalez at second. And Sonny Siebert is the pitcher. Well, good, Mangler. Then my goals have been achieved. My work here is done. Of course, I'm wearing my hearing aids. I was wondering why I've never heard the dryer that loud before. That could be it, you know it. I wasn't using the hearing aids before. That's probably entirely it. Okay, let me clean these glasses. I'll get you the home plate umpires, or actually all 4 of the umpires, and we'll get this game underway. On a Tuesday, did some grocery shopping. I was on the phone for almost 2 hours. Umpires are Frank Umont behind the plate, Jerry Neudecker at first, no second base umpire, they couldn't afford one, and Jim Honachek at third. So yeah, that way the first and third umpires have to cover second. That's good, maybe they'll earn their money for a change. I jest. Hello, Unmitigated. Just in time for the start of play. Okay, let's get the stats brought up here. And Vic Davalillo stands in. Phil Ortega ready to go to work. Davalillo hitting .258, 2 homers, 12 RBIs, left-handed hitter. Ortega to the windup. Pitch is a 2-8. We're underway on a grounder down to first. Nen has it. He'll take it to the bag. And here we go, 1 down. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing, man. They probably didn't have much in the way of backups in those days. And there's our beer batter. Schaefer again today. It was Miller, wasn't it? For one day, it was Miller. It's usually Schaefer. Leon Wagner will be the hitter. Wagner leads the club in batting at .333, 10 home runs, 30 RBIs. Ortega gets the sign from Camille. The pitch on a 5-2 left-handed, driven high and deep to right field. King back at the track at the wall. It's gone. Home run, Leon Wagner, and the Indians are on the board. A prodigious blast by Leon Wagner for his 11th home run of the season, and Cleveland takes a 1-0 lead. There's Rick. You know, Rick, the Indians are in 3rd place in the American League right now. At 32-25, they've been one of the better teams so far in this replay. Let's see how far or below they are on their real-life pace. They're actually 4 games below their real-life pace. They must have had a second-half collapse. At this time in 1966, they had 36 wins on their way to a 500 season, 81-81. Chico Simone steps up to the plate. Chico hitting just .186. He does have 4 home runs. Ortega's pitch on a 4-10 righty, high pop fly to shallow left. Coming in is Frank Howard, waiting, and makes the catch. It's still, well, good point, it is still Cleveland. And here's Rocky Colavito at .304, 13 home runs, 32 RBIs. The windup and the pitch from Ortega on a 1-3. Foul ball left side. Over to get it is McMullen. And he's there to make the catch, and that'll do it. But a run on the Leon Wagner home run. And after half an inning, it's Cleveland 1, Washington coming to bat. The Indians have scored 254 runs in the replay compared to just 214 for the Senators. Home run-wise, 77 for Cleveland, just 50 for Washington. And here's the Washington lineup. Don Blasingame at second base leads it off. Ken McMullen is at third. Jim King in right field hits third. Frank Howard in the cleanup spot in left. Dick Nenn, the first baseman. Don Locke, the beer batter, in center field. Doug Camille is the catcher. Steady Eddie Brinkman at short. And Ortega, the pitcher, hitting ninth. Oh, here we go. Mike's got some information on the umpires. They use 3 umpires sometimes to save money. That's kind of funny, really. I wonder how much they saved. Not much in today's dollars, of course, but I suppose it was at least somewhat significant then, or they wouldn't have done it. Okay. Still trying to focus the peepers in here as Don Blasingame steps into the left-handed box, hitting .252. No home runs, just 6 RBIs. Sonny Siebert ready to go to work. Here's the windup and the pitch on a 5-7 lefty. Rolls it over to second base. That's going to be Brown. No, that's not Brown. Excuse me. That is Gonzalez. Make a correction to my chart there. As Gonzalez flips it over to Whitfield, 1 away. Wow, they didn't have a union then? I'll be darned. That's surprising. 1 away, here's McMullen. McMullen hitting just .226. He does have 7 home runs, 25 RBIs. The 7 home runs tied with Valentine for the team lead. Valentine not in the lineup today, and one reason could be because he's ice cold. In the last 10 days, 138 average and not a single RBI. So he's on the bench. McMullen's the hitter. The pitch from Siebert is a 1-10. High fly ball the opposite way to right. Colavito drifts over and makes the catch. Here comes Jim King, having a fine year. .247, 9 homers, 24 RBIs. 9 home runs in just 146 at-bats for King, as Siebert goes into the windup on a 5-7 lefty. Rolls it over to second. Gonzalez to Whitfield, and it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Sonny Siebert. That's true, man. Yeah, I could see it. Wow. 1968 Classic Baseball. Commentators mentioned that a couple of umpires were fired due to their attempt to form a union. Thank you, Mike, for the update. Umpires Union was formed in 1970. I remember the replacement umps. I'd forgot all about that. Thank you. I do not remember how that went. Big Fred Whitfield will lead off the second, hitting .261. He leads the club in home runs with 16, which is among the league leaders, and RBIs with 44. There's the pitch from Ortega. It's a 3-8 right-handed. Hits it the other way to short on 2 hops Brinkman and throws him out. Here's the third baseman, Max Alvis now. Max hitting .210, 11 home runs, 30 RBIs. Ortega with the windup. Pitches a 6-10 right-handed. High fly ball to left. Howard drifting under it, waiting, and puts it away. Easy play for Frank Howard. And with 2 down, here's the catcher, Del Crandall. Crandall 9 for 42 on the season. 3 of those hits home runs. Ortega's pitch on a 3-6. Hard smash to third, backhanded by McMullen. Over to Nen, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ortega. Ortega settles down in the second. Really, Ortega's made only one mistake. That was to Wagner, and he deposited that in the right field seats. Sonny Siebert takes the mound. Leading off the bottom of the second, Big Frank Howard. Leads the team in hitting at .308, 5 home runs, 29 RBIs. The 29 RBIs leads the team. Is that a fact, Mike? I don't remember that. I don't think Gaylord Perry would have liked that, among others. Siebert getting his sign. The windup, the pitch to Howard is a 6-7 right-handed. That's a grounder second base X. That's going to be Gonzalez, a 3-14. Ranging behind the bag. Here's the play on a 13. He's there, twists and fires in time. He had a little extra time there with Howard running, but a nice play nonetheless. Here's the first baseman, Dick Nen. Nen hitting just .199, 2 home runs, 15 RBIs. Siebert with the pitch. That's going to be a 6-2 left-handed. High fly ball to right, backing up his Colavito on the track, pulls it in. So Nen gave it a ride, but it died on the track. With 2 down, here's the beer batter, Don Locke. Locke hitting just .209. He does have 6 home runs, 13 RBIs. The pitch from Sonny Siebert is a 6-9 right. He swung on and missed. Strike 3. Down goes Locke, and down go the Senators in the second. So a strong start for both starting pitchers here today. That's right, drink up. I don't know why, fellas, but I've just had no get up and go lately. I'm not sure what my problem is. I'm blaming it on the weather, but who knows? Pedro Gonzalez will lead off the third. Gonzalez having a fine year, .277, 2 homers, 16 RBIs. Here's the windup and the pitch from Ortega. It's a 6-6 right-handed. Ground ball down to third. McMullen has it, throws across. Gonzalez is out, and here's Siebert, a right-handed hitter. The pitch is a 5-8 righty, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Ortega makes short work as Siebert. That was Sweet Emotion, wasn't it, Franklin? Aerosmith. Of course, the saying is much older than that. They nicked that one, of course. Here's the leadoff batter, Vic Davalillo. He bounced to first his first time up. Ortega into the windup. It's going to be a 4-8 left-hander, and he loses in ball 4. The speedy Davalillo at first base with 2 away. Let's check the battery for Washington. Ortega with a -1 hold. Camille a 0. So Davalillo a 14. He's going to have to be held on at 12 as Leon Wagner steps to the plate. Wagner, of course, homered in the first for the game's only run. Interesting stuff, Ben. Thank you for that. Boy, a lot of good information here today. Ortega checks the runner, now from the stretch. The pitch to Leon. 4-2. It's a high fly ball to right. King backing up. On the track makes the catch. Wagner's bid for a second homer just misses. Cleveland leaves a man, and it's still 1-0. Wagner gave it a ride, put a little scare into the home faithful, of which there were 4,829 in the ballpark for this game. It was a Saturday. 48-29 on a Saturday? Was this a day game? It was. And that kind of explains it. Still, it seems like an awful crowd for a Saturday. They must have all been lined up to go to the bar where Billy Joel was playing, because that was a pretty good crowd for a Saturday. Catcher Camille will lead it off, hitting just .207, 3 homers, 9 RBIs. Here comes the pitch from Seaberg. 6'9", right-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. Second strikeout for Sonny Seaberg. Then here's the shortstop, Eddie Brinkman. Brinkman having a pretty good year, 253, 2 homers, 21 RBIs, 17 extra base hits in total. The pitch from Seaberg is a 4'9" righty. That's grounded to first, single to 16, and that's going to be into right field for a single. That's the first Washington hit of the ball game. A 1-out single for Brinkman. Seaberg a 0, Crandall a 0, so Brinkman held on at 13. And here's Seaberg, a right-handed hitter. He's a B bunter. Sorry, Ortega's the hitter. Excuse me. Ortega's an A bunter. Runner held at 13. So their choice is they could bring the infield in to make Ortega a B. But then they can't hold the runner. Brinkman at 15 would certainly attempt to steal, not held. So they're going to hold the runner. Brinkman's going to lay it down. He's an A. And an 8 will get it done. Bunts it to first, and Brinkman takes second. That'll leave it up to Wade Blasingame, tying run in scoring position with 2 away. Can't put anything past Ernest. Apparently when it comes to song lyrics, Seaberg checks the runner. Here's the pitch to Blasingame. 5-4, he loses in ball 4. First walk issued by Sonny Seaberg. That'll get Ken McMullen to the plate. McMullen 0 for 1. Seaberg checks the runners. There's Cleveland. Hey, Cleveland, how's it going? It's a 4-8 righty. Grounded to shortstop. Routine for Simone. Comes in on it, gloves it, throws to Whitfield. And the side is retired. Washington leaves a pair. No runs, no hits. 2 left on. We've played 3 innings. Still 1-0 Cleveland. Well, of course you didn't, Ben. We know who started the fire. It was Ryan. Ryan started the fire. I wouldn't want to be a teacher of at any level now. Well, maybe grade school would be okay. Phil Ortega is ready to go to work in the fourth. Simone will start things off. He's 0 for 1. Ortega gets the sign from Camilo. Here's the pitch. It's a 110 right-handed. He pops him up. Blasingame will make the play. And there's one down. There's David. Hey, David, welcome in. I gotta check the count now. Another good crowd on hand today. This is fantastic, guys. You'd think that would wake me up a little bit, if anything. I'm kind of counting on the coffee, but you know, I think I'm pretty much immune to coffee. I sure notice the difference when I don't have it. Here's Colavito 0 for 1. Ortega with the windup and the pitch on a 1-8 righty. High fly ball to center, backing up his lock. He's there, and there's 2 quick outs in the fourth. Ortega throwing strikes today. Here's Whitfield. The pitch from Ortega is a 6-6 left-handed liner right at Brinkman. And that's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Phil Ortega. Pitchers duel after 3.5. Yeah, I can just see an umpire behind the pitcher with Perry and Sutton and some of those guys. What are you doing there, Gaylord? On the other hand, Gaylord was so good at it, he could probably do it with the umpire standing right next to him and he wouldn't see it. I love that baseball scene at the end of the first Naked Gun when he's checking the pitcher and he pulls out the power sander and all that crap. But he doesn't care because he's looking for a gun. Enrico Palazzo, exactly. It's funny we thought of that at the same time, Ernest. It's kind of scary. Okay, bottom of the fourth. Heart of the order for Washington. Jim King steps to the plate. Sonny Siebert gets his sign. Here's the windup. The pitch is a 6-8 lefty. Grounder down to first. Nen has it. Shovels it to Siebert. One down. Here's Frank Howard. Siebert gets the sign. The pitch to Big Frank is a 5-7 right-handed, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Third strikeout for Siebert. 2 down, and here's Dick Nen. Yes, exactly. Okay, you're right. He was safe. You moron, he was out when he ran out of the baseline. That's one thing, if I need a guaranteed laugh, I put that on. Not the whole movie, just the baseball scene. Although sometimes I'll watch the whole movie. Siebert facing Nen, the windup and the pitch is a 3-5, and he walks him. 2-out walk to Nan, second base on balls issued by Sonny Siebert, and that'll bring Don Locke to the plate, the beer batter, who fanned in the second. Siebert checks the runner. From the stretch, the pitch is a 5-7, swung on and missed, strike 3. Oh my goodness, drink up, fellas. Unmitigated, he picked a good one today. No runs, no hits, a man left for the Senators. Through 4 innings, the Indians still clinging to a 1-0 lead. Yes, he did, didn't he? I also loved Hank's line when the public relations guy came down and said, "You were scratching your crotch for half the game." And he says, "Well, anything worth doing is worth doing right." Schaefer's all around. As we move to the 5th inning and Max Alvis to lead things off. Alvis 0 for 1. Phil Ortega gets his sign. Here's the pitch to Alvis. It's a 4-7 right-handed liner to third. And that's going to be caught by McMullen. Single to 3. Rolled to 7. Line out to third. And here's the catcher, Del Crandall. The pitch to Ortega on a 1-7, grounder to short, easy play for Brinkman. And 2 down quickly, and Ortega mowing him down now. Here's Pedro Gonzalez. Grounder to third his first time up. Ortega into the windup. It's going to be a 3-11 righty. Pops him up left side. Brinkman will make the play. And that's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Ortega, who's now retired 9 in a row. Home run by Leon Wagner in the first inning is the only scoring in this game. Both pitchers have been outstanding today. I remember Johnstone. I don't remember Bannister, but I guess I don't remember what he looks like. I will have to make a point to look for that, Ernest. Bottom of the 5th, bottom third of the lineup for the Senators. Here's the catcher, Camille. He struck out his first time. Siebert gets his sign. The pitch is a 3-10 right-handed. He goes the other way with it and drops that into right in front of Colavito. The leadoff man is on. Here's Brinkman, a good bunter, but with a pitcher to follow, he's going to swing away. From the stretch, 6-6 right-handed. It's a high fly ball to center. Backing up is Davalillo. Double to 3. Davalillo goes back and makes the catch for the first out. Hey there, Richard. These pitchers are mowing him down today. Ortega, an A bunter. They'll pull it in. He's going to bunt as a B. Lays it down on the 9. And to third base, that'll get it done. The second sacrifice for Phil Ortega. Camille goes to second. Then it will be up to Blasingame once again. 0 for 1 with a walk. Siebert checks the runner. Comes to the plate 1-7. Struck him out. And that wraps up the 5th inning for Washington. No runs, a hit, 1 left. 1-0 Indians through 5. Thank you, Ernest. And now it appears that the umpires have Krishoni in a rundown. I'll bet not, David, playing the 2000 season. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. Okay. Yes, Richard, that was wonderful. I wouldn't have been able to do that. Ortega takes the mound. Siebert, an 8-inning endurance starter, will bat. Ortega's a 7. Right-handed hitter on a 2-5 struck him out. Not surprisingly. That is only the second strikeout for Ortega. And since it's been Siebert both times, it almost doesn't count. Here's the leadoff man, Davalillo. 0 for 1, walked in the 3rd. The pitch from Ortega is a 4-7, swung on and missed strike 3. That one counts. 11 in a row retired by Ortega, back-to-back strikeouts. And here's Leon Wagner again, his home run, the only run of this ball game. Ortega with the windup and the pitch on a 4-6 left-hander. He lifts it the other way to left field. Howard is right there. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Phil Ortega. Nice season out of A-Rod, David. Kind of reminds me of Bo Diaz in my 82 replay. At about the 2/3 mark, he's already surpassed his numbers of the full season. On the other hand, it's not all that surprising to me, as Diaz usually hits 5th, and the Phillies have good on-base guys in front of him. Schmidt usually clean up. He walks a lot. I forget who hits 3rd, but they've got a good on-base top of the order. That's true, Mike. The only hit for Cleveland. I was going to say that Washington had 1, but they have 2 now. Singles by Brinkman and Camille. Both pitchers sharp today, that's for sure. Here's Ken McMullen leading off the bottom of the inning. McMullen 0 for 2. Siebert into the windup. It's going to be a 4-2 righty, and he loses in ball 4. A leadoff walk to Ken McMullen. Not held at 15. He's not a star stealer, with only a minuscule chance of getting the lead, as Jim King steps in from the left side. Siebert, a glance at the runner. From the stretch, the pitch to King is a 6-7 left-handed. Grounder, second base X. That could be 2. Gonzalez, a 3-14. Here's the play on a 14. He's got it. His only play is to first, however. Little slow roller he had to come in on. And on the play, McMullen will advance to second. How about that, Richard? Benny Daniels with the Washington Senators, huh? '59 Sporting News rookie star of '59. Runner in scoring position for Big Frank Howard. Siebert glances at second. The windup, the pitch to Howard on a 4-5 righty, high fly ball to center, backing up his Davalillo. He makes the catch, and McMullen will hold at second. That'll leave it up to the first baseman, Dick Nan, 0 for 1 with a walk. Siebert studying the signs. Now the pitch to Nan. That's a 2-7 righty. He walks him. 2 walks in the inning. And that's going to get Don Locke to the plate. Locke, who struck out both times against Siebert. Siebert trying to hand him the hat trick here as he goes into the full windup. The pitch to Locke on a 1-10. It's drilled to deep left field. Wagner starts back and then just watches it go. Don Locke leaves the yard and gives the Senators a 3-1 lead with a 2-out, 3-run shot. Holy cow. 110 righty, no doubt about it. And for Locke, that's his 7th home run of the season, and it's a big one. Crandall carrying a new ball out to the mound. Here's Camille, who's 1 for 2. No, I don't return alcohol or caffeine or nicotine, for that matter. Siebert into the windup. Pitch to Doug Camille on a 1-11. Foul ball back of the plate. Crandall tosses the mask aside and puts it away. But 3 big runs for the Senators on just 1 hit. A mammoth shot by center fielder Don Locke. And after 6 complete, it's 3-1 Washington. First endurance inning for Phil Ortega as we go to the 7th. Heart of the order for Cleveland. "12 in a row retired by Ortega. And this is a shutdown inning for Washington. Chico's 0 for 2. Ortega gets his side. Pitch to Simone is a 110 righty. Pops him up right side. Blasingame will take it. And Ortega now just sailing along. Here comes Rocky Colavito. Oh, that's cool. Dick Stewart. I'm not sure what he needed the mitt for, though, Richard. Here's the pitch to Colavito on a 1-7. That's a liner to third. Single to 6, and it's speared by McMullen. That keeps Ortega's streak intact. And here is Whitfield, who's 0 for 2. Ortega with the windup and the pitch. 6'9" left-handed. That's a high fly ball to center. Locke backing up to 3, and it's over Locke's head. It gets away from him. Whitfield's rounding second, digging for third. The throw. He's in there with a 2-out triple. Hang on, I got to look at this. That's actually his 4th triple of the season. Somebody should have said to him, you sure you know how to use that thing? It'll be up to Alvis, who's 0 for 2. Ortega, a glance at third. Now it comes to the plate, 5-10, catcher's card. It's going to be Camille. Camille, a 4E4. Will the runner score? It's the E range. It's a 6 on an E4. A little nubber in front of the plate. Camille pounces on it like a cat and throws down to first to end the inning. Nice play, Camille. And Cleveland leaves a man at third. As we go to stretch, 3-1 Washington. Mookie in the cheap seats. Again, thanks to Richard for the photos. For those of you who have not seen them, go to my main page, scroll clear down to the bottom under posts. And let's see what Mookie's up to here as I stretch my legs for the 7th. Not much going on there. We better go around. There he is. Hey, Mookie. What are you doing? Meow. Meow. Hey. Wow. What the heck? There's his head. I just got really lightheaded when I stood up that fast. You know, I just realized I haven't eaten much today. I'd eat one of those Kirkland Power Bars, but you'd never be able to hear me. I love those things, don't get me wrong, but eating one of those is kind of like just pouring some super glue into your mouth and chewing. Siebert in what figures to be his last inning of work. He's due to bat third in the 8th inning. Brinkman, Ortega, and Blasingame due. And here's Eddie. He's 1 for 2. Siebert, the windup, the pitch on a 4-4 right-handed catcher's card. That's going to be Crandall. Crandall a 4E5. The play on a 2, it is a pop out to the catcher. One away, Ortega will hit. The pitch from Sonny is a 2-6, swung on and missed, strike 3. Sixth strikeout for Siebert, 2 down, and here's Blasingame. The windup and the pitch from Siebert on a 6-10 left-handed. Grounder third base X, that's Elvis. Tough chance for Elvis, 321. Ranging to his left on a 5, and he makes a diving stop to his feet and throws him out, possibly robbing Blasingame of a hit. So 1, 2, 3 go the Senators. And we've got 7 in the books, 3-1 Washington. That'll be it for Siebert. He goes, 7 innings, only allowed 3 hits, but 3 runs. He walked 4. Struck out, I just said how many he struck out. 2, 4, 6 strikeouts. Right, left, right, left. That makes it tough for Washington. Let me check their usage. I could go a couple of ways with this. It's going to be Casey Cox warming up. Crandall, Gonzalez in the pitcher's spot, due up. It's very bad to steal Joe Boo's run. Here's Crandall, 0 for 2. Is Crandall going to hit? Yes. The pitch from Ortega, 4-6 right-handed, he walks him. Leadoff walk to Del Crandall, who's very slow, although he's not the tying run. Pedro Gonzalez, the batter. Ortega checks the runner. The pitch to Gonzalez from the stretch on a 4-6. He walks him. Back-to-back walks here. That's going to get... Wait, I've got the wrong team for as far as the Casey Cox thing. I'm sorry. We'll see who it's going to be depending on the score. Right now, Ron Klein is joining Cox in the Washington pen. Tying runs aboard, nobody out. One more hitter walk will fatigue Ortega. And we will have a pinch hitter for Sonny Siebert. Let's see who it's going to be. Do they have another catcher? They do have 3 catchers. Duke Sims is going to be the pinch hitter. Sims 18 for 66 with 3 home runs. That is a .273 average. Ortega checks the runner at second. The full windup. The pitch to Sims on a 4-7. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Big strikeout there by Ortega. And Vic Davalillo will be the hitter. Leon Wagner on deck. For the want of a good lefty, They do have Dick lines. I tell you, this is a tough one, fellas. That's why I'm taking so long. I probably should go to the bullpen, but for some reason, I'm going to stick with Ortega. At least one more batter. Runners take their lead. The pitch to Davalillo is a 1-7. He pops him up right side. Blasingame waving his arms. He's got it. And now, the dangerous Leon Wagner. 1 for 3 with a home run. One more hit or walk will fatigue Ortega. Glance at second. The windup. The pitch to Wagner. 4-10 left-handed. He rolls it over to second base. Blasingame gobbles it up. Flips to Nen. And Ortega pitches out of the jam. No runs, no hits. 2 left on. And Ortega's in good shape now through 7.5. Still up 3-1. Let's see who's going to pitch for Cleveland. Right, left, right, left. That doesn't make it easy. And they're trailing. Left, right, left. How tough is the righty? You got Howard. Got to worry more about King. They're going to go to the lefty Bob Allen here. Let's check the defense for, no, they're trailing. Okay, it's Bob Allen, the lefty. Let's take a look at Allen's numbers as he warms up. He's 1-1 with a pair of saves, 2.92. McMullen, King, and Howard, if anybody gets on Nen. McMullen 0 for 2 with the walk, came around to score in the 6th. Allen into the windup. Pitch to McMullen is a 4-11 righty. High fly ball to center. Davalillo is right there to make the play, and there's one away. Here's King now. They could make a move. Let's see what they've got left. King, however, one of their best defensive outfielders with a 2.5. Since they're leading, he's going to stay in and face the left-handed Bob Allen. The pitch to King is a 3-3. Struck him out. And that'll bring up Frank Howard in what will be his final plate appearance. He's 0 for 3. The windup and the pitch is a 1-11 left-handed, and he lines that one into left field for a single. Not to be denied, Frank Howard gets a hit. And here's Nen, and they might make a move with Nen. Or they might not. He's their best first baseman. I tell you what, that Tebbets knew what he was doing when he brought in Bob Allen. Here's the pitch to Nen on a 4-8. Liner to second, single to 8. That's a base hit for Nen. Knocked down by Gonzalez. Howard will have to stop at second. And that's going to get Locke to the plate, who homered his last time up. Locke struck out in the second, struck out in the fourth, and then launched a 2-out, 3-run blast to deep left center in the sixth to provide all of the Senators' runs today. The pitch to Locke. 1-7, high fly ball to left, double to 6. Wagner going back and makes the catch. How about that? That could have been huge insurance there, but it's just a loud out to left. Senators strand a pair, and we're going to the ninth. Senators 3, Indians 1. Checking the defense now. We got to get Howard out of there. Willie Kirkland will come in and take over in left. Let's see what else they've got. That's really about all they can do. Could bring in Ken Hamlin to play second, but I'm not sure if a 334 is any better than a 414. Flip a coin on that one. And here's Phil Ortega trying to go the distance. He did give up 2 walks in the 8th, so it would only take 2 hits and or walks to tire him here in the 9th. Ron Klein ready to go behind him. And a good opportunity for me to thank all you guys for watching today. Another good crowd on hand. And the Indians will send up the heart of the order. So here we go, 9th inning. Indians trail by a pair. Chico Simone 0 for 3 on the day will start it off. Probably a very short leash for Ortega at this point, despite the fact that he's only allowed 2 hits. Here comes the windup. The pitch to Chico on a 4-6 righty. He walks him to lead off the inning. Not a good sign. And that's going to bring Hodges out to the mound. And that's going to be it for Ortega. He's not going to wait around for him to tire. Slightly uncharacteristic for me, but the Senators are trying to win a ball game here. And they're going to go to their stopper, Ron Klein. Klein having a marvelous season, by the way. 3-0, 8 saves, 8 of their 13 saves as a team, and a 2.19 ERA. Simone, good speed out there, but Klein with that deadly -5 hold. That would make Simone a 14. And they're not going to hold him on. So he can go at 14 if he wants to. That's 70%. But he's not going to try it with Rocky Colavito at the plate, who could tie it with 1 swing. Rocky 0 for 3 today. Klein ready to go to work. The pitch on a 1-11 righty. Grounder down to second. White of second. Blasingame, his only play is to first, and Simone will go to second on the 4-3 putout. Here's Fred Whitfield, another dangerous bat. Leads the ball club in home runs with 16. Klein staring in. The windup. The pitch to Whitfield. It is a 5-5 left-handed high fly ball to deep right. King backing up on the track makes the catch. Simone can tag 15, 17. He's only out on a 20, but his run doesn't really matter, so why would you? Instead, they'll leave it up to Max Alvis. Alvis has 11 home runs on the season. As Cleveland down to their final out. Alvis, the tying run at the plate. Klein, a glance at second. The windup, the pitch to Alvis. 5-7 righty. Base hit up the middle. Simone can try to score on that. 15-17. Locke with a -2 gun. 15. There's no reason to send him. His run means nothing. He will stop at third. And now we're going to have a pinch hitter for Del Crandall. What do they have left? Brown, maybe. It's got to be Chuck Hinton. That's the best hitter they've got. But Chuck Hinton comes off the bench with 2 down in the 9th. Runners at the corners. Hinton hitting .262, 6 home runs, 21 RBIs. Klein trying to put out the lights here. Hinton standing in from the right side. Here comes the pitch. 6-6, liner to third, single to 11. That is a base hit for Hinton. 3-2 is the score. As Simone crosses the plate. Stopping at second is Alvis. Now the tying run is in scoring position, and Pedro Gonzalez is up. Nail-biting time for the Washington faithful. The 4,000 and some are on their feet. As Pedro Gonzalez comes to hit. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Klein checks the runners. The full windup, the pitch to Pedro on a 3-4. It's a high towering fly ball to right. This should wrap it up. King is there to make the catch, and that's the ball game. So the Indians made it close in the 9th, but come up a run short. 3-2 is the final. Senators win it. Totals in a moment. Thank you, Kenyon. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mike. +8 for Ortega. Klein an inning. Klein picks up his 9th save. Ortega gets the win. He's 3-6. Mike likes Ortega. A couple of votes for Don Locke. Ortega only allowed 2 hits. He did walk 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 strikeouts. Klein in his inning allowed 2 hits. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Correction. 2 runs charged to Ortega. The 2-hitter is impressive. Well, Richard, they do when nobody's hitting. They do tend to go quick. No runs charged to Klein. No walks, no strikeouts. Allen worked an inning. Gave up 2 hits, no runs. No walks and a strikeout. Siebert is saddled with the loss. A tough luck loss for Siebert, who only allowed 3 hits himself. His record drops to 7-4. Anyone else thoughts on the player of the game? I'm kind of on the fence between Ortega and Locke. Senators won it with 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors. Indians 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. An errorless game. Roll for it. Well, in that case, I'd probably just split it. Give it to both of them. Although, honestly, I think Ortega was more impressive. I'm going to go with Ortega. Might not be the popular decision, but that's what I'm doing. Tomorrow, I might have gone with Locke. Who knows? Yesterday, that might have been a ball. Tomorrow, that might have been a ball. But today, it's a strike. And looking ahead on the schedule, tomorrow we're going to move on to Sunday, June the 19th on the schedule. Which means, counting off days, let's take a look at this. Quite a few there's a lot of games on Sunday. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 double headers on Sunday, so a lot of games. 15 games. It'll cover 2 off days at least. So 17 days till the next stats update. Anyway, I digress. We'll open it up with Pittsburgh and Atlanta. Pitching will be Bob Veal, the Pittsburgh ace, against Ken Johnson for the Braves. 18 hits and no homers. Woody Woodward. Mike Ryan. What about Jose Cuervo? Oh, wait. That's a wrap here from Spokane, where the Senators edge the Indians 3-2. Please join me tomorrow for Pittsburgh and Atlanta. In the meantime, thanks once again. Have a great evening, everybody. And we'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye from myself and Mookie.